I just wanted to do a brief little chat about my reflections on editing talking, because it's weird. It's very, very weird, and it's different than editing pretty much anything else in my experience, because not only do I get to figure out what I want to say and then say it, but I also get to stop and re-say things if I didn't like the way I said it. I can constantly rephrase things, reword things, and cut out little snippets, or cut out pauses, cut out ums and pauses to stop and think, cut out anytime I stumble over my words. And on one hand, this allows me to create kind of an illusion of that I have this entire thought process already planned out in my head, because the way you, the viewer, experience it as a finished edited product. And I think I might not edit this and just leave all the brief stutters and rephrasing and pauses and all that stuff in for this video. So it allows me to kind of give you the experience of having the entire thought process flow seamlessly all at once in one non-stop stream of thought, of speech, for the entire duration of the video. But that's usually not how speech works. As you can see, even in this video here, where I'm pausing and readjusting the way I'm saying things, and using as like filler to kind of avoid the silence, and and using and so, and like that kind of stuff. And it's weird because on one hand, that allows me to create what I would consider to be a better video. I'm getting my point across. The video itself is a more accurate representation of what I think and feel like in my head than what I'm actually able to portray, because I'm able to edit it and cut things down into the way I wanted it to be in the first place, even though I wasn't able to deliver that myself. But on the other hand, it's an illusion. It's a lie. It's not genuine and authentic. It's not real. And so sometimes it's good to leave some of that stuff in there, some of the pauses, the ums, to give a more genuine feel of who I really am and how I'm really thinking, and not just have me spew a thought process at you, but also to kind of have you come along with me as I'm thinking through it, as I'm figuring this out, and having this one-sided discussion with you, this monologue of sorts. But then again, you don't really need to come along with me, because and so having that experience of coming along with me on the journey of figuring this out, I feel like creates a more realistic connection. But also, there's really no need for that, because what is generally considered a higher quality video is, or just like a more well thought out video, is one that has the illusion that I have already planned this out and figured this all out, and I already know what I'm going to say. And obviously I don't. As you can tell, that I've kind of patched a couple little clips in here, like this one right here that interrupted that main clip, which we will go back to in a minute. But I also remembered while I was editing this, the very small, tiny edits I'm doing in this video. I'm trying to do as little editing as possible in this one as compared to some of my other ones, which you can watch for comparison. But I had thought of, while I was editing this, that I also had forgotten to mention pacing. Sometimes you want to make small edits for the pacing of it. Maybe you want a certain like fast-paced, like go, 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 go type of feel, and so you'll make all those quick little cuts and cut out every little moment of silence. And maybe there's some other moments where I feel it would be beneficial for you to have that illusion, or for you to have the feel of coming along with me, rather than the illusion of well put togetherness. If there are some moments where I feel like the video feels better unedited, then I can leave the spacing, leave the transitional words, the ums and thes and likes, and so, you know, and then that also kind of does that thing, and, you know, it can also, you see what I'm doing here? Transitional words. I know that was a bit of a meme many years ago, that's all YouTubers do, is just say transitional words all the time. And I find, see, there's another one. And I find that I do. I use an extreme abundance of transitional words because, there's another one, because when I'm editing something, sometimes that'll be useful. If I'm taking this clip and instead of putting it there and just cutting out the silence, maybe I actually want to like pull this one over here, then that transitional word kind of makes the cut flow more smoothly. But sometimes I want to just take that out entirely and have me just jump right to the next thought, jump into the next sentence, and skip the because. And you can do that. If you experiment with that, you'll find out that you can just cut out, like, trying to think of a good example, but you can do stuff like that where you just cut out the transitional words, the because, the like, the, and so because of that, you can cut that out entirely and just go right into the next thought, and it feels much more professional and well-spoken, which, as I talk about later in this video, which actually I recorded before this, that's like kind of public speaking 101, is to be more comfortable with the silence, to not use transitional words, and to be more confident in the things you're wanting to say. I don't remember what I'm saying next. I know I've edited to the point where I started this clip, but I don't know what I'm saying next, and so I don't know what to say right now to transition into the next clip. So here's the next clip. And a lot of like public speakers will say that that's kind of like where you would start with improving your speaking, is to get rid of the ums and just be okay with the silence and be okay with the suspense of bringing someone along with you on your own thought process, on your own mental ride. And I knew I was going somewhere with this video, but I got distracted on that minor tangent, which I'm glad that I did, because I was able to word this and phrase this in a way that I think that I liked. But where was I going with this? See, I'm gonna leave this in. Oh, and not to mention, if I decide to re-record something where I go through my entire thought process and I record the whole thing, maybe it's like 5 minutes of talking, but then it's like, I don't like I don't like this section of it, from like minutes 2 to 3.5. So then I'll record it again, and I'll be like, okay, I actually like the beginning of that better, but I like the ending of number 1, but I still didn't like that middle. Okay, I'll record it again. So now the third recording is like, okay, finally, I got that middle part right. And then the beginning and the end, I still liked the other ones better. And so then I'll take like a chunk from each recording and kind of patch that together and like rearrange them to create the same thought process, the same exact thought process, but like over multiple attempts, multiple renditions, auditions. And so that's super weird too. But I like that because it's kind of like writing, where I can rewrite things as much as I want. But I like that because it's kind of like writing. If you write a novel, you can rewrite that as much as you want in as many different ways as you want, and until you get it in a way that you like it. Right, so another aspect of editing talking too is it's almost like I'm re-saying it. I'm rewriting it, even though, shush, computer, even though I've never written a script for this channel yet. I probably will for certain videos eventually, but the majority of this is all just kind of off the top of my head, just talking, just expressing thoughts, expressing feelings, expressing realizations and reflections and things I've noticed, patterns I've recognized. And so, yeah, the other thing I wanted to say about editing talking is I can completely change the meaning of the sentence, of the entire thought process over many sentences long after I've said them. If I just decide, you know what, I just don't want that sentence, it's a completely valid thought process with it in. But if I take that out, it completely changes the feeling and sometimes the meaning of what is being delivered through this medium. And that's really weird, because it allows me to rethink everything long after it's been already said. And I do that anyway. In normal conversation, hours later, I'll be rethinking it and think, oh, I should have said this. And then I will go back to that person and I will re-say it to that person in a different way. And then they'll go, oh, okay, now I get what you mean. But with film, it's more seamless, because I can go back and re-record another little clip to sneak in there. And I've already done this many times on my channel. You probably never even noticed that clip, that one little like 10-second clip, was recorded like 4 days later than everything else. And it just slides right in there. As long as it's not like a month later, because then you'll see my hair will be longer, or I don't know, something will be different. Maybe I'll be wearing a different shirt. And yeah, editing talking, editing thought processes, specifically non-scripted things. If you've written a script and you're shooting a short film or something, that's a totally different beast. But genuine conversation, like editing a podcast, is a nightmare. So my only attempts I've ever made at podcast type or like content, with long form content, conversations like that, I try to leave that as unedited as possible. Because the amount of time that you have to spend to trim it down generally isn't worth it. You just take out some certain chunks of like, oh, this couple of minutes, like 5-minute chunk here, or maybe I'm editing on like a long game stream where I'm talking with my friends for hours and hours and hours. I'll be like, well, we had a good 20-minute chunk here of conversation, and this 10-minute chunk was funny, and so you'll just kind of patch that stuff together. But to actually edit the minutia, the details, to remove the ums and the thes and the pauses and all that within those contexts isn't worth it. So yeah, editing talking is really weird. I don't really know what else to say or how else to summarize this or what else I could add. I think that's good enough. All right. Wait, thanks for watching, by the way. I stopped the recording and now I started a new recording, so I'm gonna have to edit anyway to patch these two clips together. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and got some sort of value out of this. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious as to kind of discuss this with other people. I mean, yeah, down in the comment section. And if you want to see more from me and discuss more stuff like this with me, then subscribe for more. Share this with anyone else that might find this interesting or might also want to discuss this, because I would like to discuss this with people and see what other people think, what your experience is with editing, talking. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.